Let's talk about navigating the swirl of rising interest rates today if you're a small self-storage investor developer. My name's Mark Helm, and I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and I'm the creator of the Quickstart Academy, which houses the training that I offer small investors getting in or growing their self-storage business. Check out fundraising for the small self-storage investor. You can find out more about it at creatingwealththroughselfstorage.com. But interest rates are going up. No, they're flattening out, maybe even going down. Wait a minute, they've gone up another 2.5%. There's going to be no more increases. It's going to be flat and then start going down. No, wait. It looks like we have two more interest rate increases. Who knows? There's a big swirl going on in the interest rate market today as the Fed uses the only tool they have to fight inflation. You know, life can be in a flux quite often. And that's exactly what's going on in the interest rate environment right now. So what is a small investor to do? Well, step on the sidelines and wait. Yeah, that's one approach. You may miss a lot of great opportunities with that approach, but it's a valid approach. It's a safe approach. But for me, doing nothing seems like not a safe thing to do. What I've experienced is when I do nothing, and I've had long periods where I do nothing, it's like life in the industry passes me by. So let's talk about long-term and short-term loans today. So basically, loan interest rates are all indexed off some kind of benchmark. So for short-term loans, and when I mean short-term loans, I'm talking construction loans, loans 3 years or less. Short-term loans are usually indexed off prime rate or the overnight financing rate, called SOFRO. Longer-term rates are usually indexed off something else like 10-year treasury notes or treasury bills of some type. Now, the short-term rates, which are indexed off prime or the overnight, are much higher today than the longer-term rates because of what they're indexed off of. Unfortunately, as small self-storage developers, usually the loans that we need are these short-term loans because we're still having to do value-add plays, add value, the risk, do the construction, do the expansion, do the conversion, create the value, and we need those short-term loans. And those are higher today. It's just the nature of the game. Now, if you want to see the impact of the short-term interest rates on self-storage developers, just take a look at any listing platform for self-storage. I'm going to pick a random one. Take a look at this. Now, I know you can't see it very well, but there's a bunch of listings on that page. Some of them are under contract, but there are 7 active listings. 5 of them are development opportunities. These are opportunities that the developer, most of them look like small developers, underwrote when interest rates are half of what they are right now. So interest rate goes up, what do? You've got this. This is just a visual example of what interest rates can do for many small self-storage players. So if you're doing development, make sure that you underwrite them very carefully today. That's why I'm bullish on expansions and conversions still. So today we're working on keeping our construction costs as low as possible. We're working on hammering suppliers, finding new suppliers. Every dollar we can knock off our construction costs, it can make the difference of whether we do the project or not. And we're really tweaking the dials and the levers of everything we can because we don't have a dial or lever for interest rates. Now, longer term loans, 48 months to 60 months and beyond. Now, I've seen those, I've gotten quotes on those in as low as the high fives, low to mid sixes there. So in the permanent market, interest rates look a lot more attractive. So as a small investor, where do we go? How do we navigate this swirl going on around interest rates? I'll just tell you what I do, or what we do. I get a mortgage broker today. In the old days when I was doing the value add plays, I would just go to the banks, either my bank or a local bank or an SBA national lender, get the loan, the short-term loan, do it, and then either put a permanent loan on it or sell it. So if I put a permanent loan on it at that time, I went into the marketplace, hired a mortgage broker, and that mortgage broker would help me place one of these long-term CMBS loans, insurance loans, etc. on the project. Today, we're just starting with the mortgage brokers. They're, I might on a great year do what? 2 to 4, maybe 5 loans. That's all these people do. And they have access to a lot more capital and sources of capital than I ever will. They'll know, I've seen them find regional banks that are so small but hungry to get in the self-storage space right now, and they'll write some pretty aggressive deals compared to what other banks and lenders are offering us. And it's somebody I would have never found. Plus, in today's interest rate environment, it takes a lot of bandwidth to really go out and try to find a mortgage, negotiate with the bank, and settle them down and keep them calm. Whereas if I hire someone, a mortgage broker, to do it, it frees me up to put my time and attention on just what I talked about before, driving that construction cost down, $1.12 here, $2.20 here, and just driving that construction cost down. So I'm a firm believer, especially in today's market, of using mortgage brokers to help place my short-term, in other words, construction to, quote, mini perm loan. And then after the value add play's done, we've seasoned that for 6 to 12 months, we'll decide what to do, either sell it and or do a cash out refi. Use a mortgage broker for that too. So how do we navigate the swirl of the interest rate environment today? Find a good mortgage broker. I started with people I'd used in the past. If you've never used a mortgage broker, here's where do I find one? Here's my recommendation. Go to the Inside Self-Storage or the SSA and look at the companies, the finance companies, the capital companies that are members of the SSA and the ISS. Why? Well, because they know self-storage. They know the process. They know what you're dealing with right now as a small self-storage investor. That's what we're doing to navigate the swirl of this particular interest rate environment that we find ourselves in. Hope that helps. My name is Mark Helm. Thank you, and I will see you next week.